Dear Trump the Internet fans, a lot of you don't know this, but I'm a tremendous reader, and I did a series on another channel before this one called Trump Tuesdays, and I read great books with great strength to our great American white wealthy children. Well, a lot of people are making money on books about me, and I thought maybe for the Trump the Internet channel it would make sense to read some passages from these books so that I can get some fame from them instead of these nasty losers making money off of me. Not that I need more fame. I'm already probably the most famous person in the history of people. And the first book is by Mary Trump, who I know not so well, but I know she's a nasty niece. She writes on her book, Mary L. Trump, PhD, and that she's got to brag, because nobody would know from her stupidity that she's a PhD. So she puts it there. When you have great talent, you don't brag about what you have, you just let it speak for itself. That's why I never mention the fact that I went to Penn or have billions of dollars. The book is called Too Much and Never Enough, How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man. Does that look like a dangerous man? I think that's called a handsome man, okay? I've barely aged. So we're going to read a little portion. I don't like to read parts of books called prologue because it sounds very Mexican, like a prologue. I never like that about books. They always begin and end with like Mexican parts. The prologue and then the epilogue. Very Mexican. I prefer American books. But we're going to read a small passage of this, which is she's such a loser, this niece. But okay, we're going to read part of it, and very quickly with great strength. None of the Trump siblings, and I'm reading it off an iPad because sometimes I like to do that. I saw Michael Jordan do it on the documentary with the basketball. And I said, well, I'm more talented and better than Michael Jordan, so I should be able to read strong books off a great iPad. By the way, this costs more than the iPad he used in the documentary. None of the Trump siblings emerged unscathed from my grandfather's sociopathy. Well, he's a social guy, so I guess he had a lot of sociopathy. So it's okay. My father was a great man. And my grandmother's illnesses, both physical and psychological. But my Uncle Donald, that's me, by the way, that's the great Uncle Donald, and my father, Freddie, loser, suffered more than the rest. In order to get a complete picture of Donald, his psychopathology, she's using these it's totally unnecessary, psychopathologies, and the meaning of his dysfunctional behavior, we need a thorough family history. In the last 3 years, I've watched as countless pundits, armchair psychologists, and journalists have kept missing the mark using phrases such as malignant narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder in an attempt to make sense of Donald's often bizarre and self-defeating behavior. Well, I won the presidency and I'm worth billions of dollars, so if that's a defeat, I'll take defeat. I have no problem calling Donald a narcissist. He meets all 9 criteria as outlined in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5. I prefer the DSL-5s. But the label only gets us so far. I received my to be honest, I don't know how that's pronounced, but it's spelled PhD, in clinical psychology from the Derner Institute of Advanced Psychological Studies. Never heard of it. I went to Penn. And while doing research for my dissertation, I spent a year working on the admissions ward of Manhattan Psychiatric Center, a state facility, where we diagnosed, evaluated, and treated some of the sickest, most vulnerable psychopathology and developmental psychology for several years as an adjunct. Now she's just making up words. Adjunct professor. I provided therapy and psychological testing for patients at a community clinic specializing in addictions. Well, it sounds like she's addicted to big fake words. Those experiences showed me time and again, that diagnosis doesn't exist in a vacuum. Does Donald have other symptoms? Sorry, we aren't aware of. Are there other disorders that might have as much or more explanatory power? Maybe. See, she doesn't even know she's saying maybe. This is her book, full of maybes. A case could be made that he also meets the criteria for antisocial personality disorder. I'm a very social person. I'm on Twitter all the time by myself in my room. Totally social. It's called social media. Okay? You don't get more social than sitting in your bathroom sending tweets by yourself. Which in its most severe form is generally considered sociopathy, but can also refer to chronic criminality, arrogance, and disregard for the rights of others. Doesn't ring a bell. Don't know about that. Is there comorbidity? That's not even a word. Probably. Donald, she should call me Mr. President or Uncle. It's kind of rude that she's saying Donald. Donald may also meet some of the criteria for dependent personality disorder, the hallmarks of which include an inability to make decisions or take responsibility, discomfort with being alone, and going to excessive lengths to obtain support from others. I don't need any support from anybody. I like the retweets. I like it when they like, and I prefer it when they retweet. It's nice to get the retweets. And I like it when they compliment. I like the way Mike Pence looks at me, but no, I don't need any of this. This is a terrible book. Are there other factors that should be considered? Absolutely. He may have a lot of questions. No answers, just questions. Fake book. He may have long undiagnosed learning disability that for decades has interfered with his ability to process information. Oh, that's just not true. I great learn. Time all thy great learn. Also, he is alleged to drink upward of 12 Diet Cokes a day and sleep very little. It's called being a workaholic, and it's 14 Diet Cokes. So she's got bad facts, no facts. Does he suffer from a substance, in this case caffeine, induced sleep disorder? No, there's no sleep disorder. I don't sleep. So how could I have a sleep disorder if I don't sleep? He has a horrible diet. I mean, if you ate American food, if you ate great American food, like McDonald's, I guess it's a horrible diet if you're not a patriot. And does not exercise. Not true. I golf 7 days a week, even during the COVID, which may contribute to or exacerbate. I think she misspelled masturbate. So, which may contribute or masturbate. I get choked up when my niece talks so poorly about me. His other possible disorders. So no answers, all questions. The fact is, we get to a fact. How about that? We get to one fact. The fact is, Donald's pathologies are so complex. I'm a very complicated person. It's a compliment. And his behaviors so often inexplicable to the stupid people who went to whatever fake PhD program she went to. Can't explain what you don't understand. That coming up with an accurate and comprehensive diagnosis would require a full battery of psychological and neuropsychological tests that he'll never sit for. That's right, I won't sit for them. No need. Perfect cognitive. And, they say decline, I have cognitive incline. At this point, we can't evaluate his day-to-day functioning because he is in the West Wing, essentially institutionalized. No, it's called Electoral College. She misspelled it. He's essentially electoral colleged. Donald has been electoral colleged for most of his adult life, so there is no way to know how he would thrive or even survive on his own in the real world. This is a disgraceful book. She uses a lot of fake words, and as you know, I don't have any of those things. I am a genius, a hard worker, great exercise, great diet, and have disabilities, no learning problems. So this is a terrible book. It gets 0 stars from the Donald Trump Book Club. Okay? And, you know, we're going to sue my niece. And she, you know, even though I paid her a great compliment when she was young, I called her stacked because she had great breasts. No more compliments for her. And I'm not reading any more of this book, even though I could, as you can tell, I could read it very strongly with great strength. So that's it for this week's Adult Book Club with Donald Trump. And I give Too Much and Never Enough 0 stars. 0 Diet Cokes. That's what we do in the book club. It has a 0 Diet Coke rating, so we'll see what happens.